Do you have something inspiring to say? Have you always known that your voice can contribute to the world? Is now the time? Yes, now is the time. The world is waiting for you. Welcome to the Inspired Choices Network Open Mic Spotlight Show. Today, we have an inspiring guest who is ready to share their voice with the world. Now, on to the show.
Welcome, everyone, to our Open Mic Spotlight Show here on Friday. It is a wonderful day to have a conversation all about coffee. I'm really looking forward to this. I have a fabulous new guest with us, Dr. Glen Miller, and he's going to be talking to us about healthier living with the right cup of coffee. I always thought there was just coffee, but there's the right cup of coffee, and I'm so excited to learn all about this. Before I bring Dr. Glen on, I'm just going to read you his bio so you get a picture of him and we can jump right into our conversation. So Dr. Glen Miller is a professor of organic chemistry and the chair of the chemistry department at the University of New Hampshire in Durham. He received his BS and Ph.D. degrees at Clarkson University in New York. Following his formal education, he worked for Exxon Research Engineering Company for 5 years, rising through the ranks from Postdoctoral Scholar to Research Chemist to Senior Chemist. In 1995, he joined the faculty at the University of New Hampshire, where he was promoted from assistant professor to associate professor to full professor. In 2015, Dr. Miller founded VERA Roasting Company, makers of Coffee V, the heart-healthy coffee infused with the natural antioxidants found in red wine. Now, see, Glenn, at that point, you had my attention right there. Dr. Vera, at VERA Roasting Company, Dr. Miller serves as Chief Technical Officer, where he has pioneered the use of premium coffee as a vehicle to deliver health benefits to U.S. adults. A full 82% of all U.S. adults drink coffee, and the average coffee drinker consumes 3.1 cups per day. Each cup of VERA Roasting Company's flagship product, Coffee V, delivers the same amount of all natural antioxidants resveratrol as found in one glass of red wine, making Coffee V the only coffee to promote cardiovascular health. Dr. Miller also developed Sunshine Blend Coffee V, which includes vitamin D3 to help stave off the winter blues. A full 40% of all U.S. adults are vitamin D deficient, and this can lead to both feelings of depression and decreased productivity at work and home. With Coffee V and Sunshine Blend Coffee V, customers can enjoy a healthier lifestyle just by changing their coffee. In 2017, Dr. Miller and VERA Roasting Company received the U.S. patent, which protects the technology developed to infuse coffee with resveratrol, vitamin D3, and many other all-natural health-promoting ingredients. As the company grows, new innovative and healthy coffee products will be introduced. Customers can follow the latest innovations and coffee products at veraroasting.com. Well, wonderful bio. I'm very intrigued. Welcome, Dr. Glen, to the show.
Well, thank you. It's great to be here, Christine.
It's wonderful, as my producer in the chat room is saying, coffee, wine, coffee. Exactly.
It's a great combination.
We have great choice here. So, Dr. Glen, take us through you're obviously a very well-educated man. What brought you to the whole idea of healthy living with the right cup of coffee?
Well, actually, it started with red wine, and there's literature out there. It's been around for over 30 years now, suggesting that red wine is a very healthy drink, and in particular, that red wine can promote cardiovascular health. And so most people know this, they're aware of this because it's received a lot of attention over the years. And as an organic chemist, I'm curious to know what is it in the red wine that is making it such a heart-healthy beverage. And of course, I wasn't the only one asking that question. There were a lot of medical researchers all around the world asking the same question. The answer, it turns out, is this beautiful organic compound called resveratrol, It's a naturally occurring compound. Mother Nature makes it and puts it in the skins of red grapes. And that's ultimately how it finds its way into red wine. During the wine manufacture, it's sort of naturally extracted into the wine. Well, this resveratrol is placed in the skin of the grape by Mother Nature in order to protect the grape from things like stress, maybe during periods of drought or when pests are a problem. And it behaves for the grape as a potent antioxidant. So this potent antioxidant finds its way into the red wine and ultimately turns red wine into a very healthy beverage. So it started there. It started with red wine and just being curious about why it is that red wine is such a healthy drink. And then it sort of grew into how can we introduce this wonderful antioxidant to the American public in a different way, because not everybody drinks red wine and not everybody drinks red wine every day, which you really need to do. And that's where the idea came to marry resveratrol with coffee, and we call the product V with a V. And the
right.
V stands for VERA Roasting Company, which is the name of our company.
So, okay, you just said that we need to be drinking red wine every day. Now, did you mean in order to get the antioxidants that our bodies require?
Right. So there's a lot of literature which suggests that if you introduce resveratrol into your diet every day, not just once in a while, but every day, that you then get the heart health benefit associated with the resveratrol. So it's really not enough to introduce or to drink a glass of red wine once or twice a week. You really need to drink it every day.
Okay. So, and if somebody doesn't want to be drinking that much alcohol every day, although I could make about 1 billion jokes right now, you know I'm holding back, right?
Of course, yes. Well, you know, it's a cultural thing. If we were having this conversation in certain parts of Europe, there would be no question that you would drink red wine every day because that's just what you do, and no one questions it. But here in the U.S., you know, it's not necessarily viewed as a positive if you're drinking red wine every day, which is unfortunate in my opinion. And so most people don't.
Right.
But
and as you know,
I'm sorry, I was just going to say, as you said, 82% of all U.S. adults drink coffee, and if you drink coffee, you tend to drink that every day.
Right, exactly. Now, as you know, Dr. Glen, I'm in Canada, so I think that for all of our Canadian listeners, these statistics are probably pretty darn similar as well to the U.S. Would you not agree?
I do, and I have to apologize. I don't have the statistics for Canada, but I'm guessing that they're awfully close.
Yeah, we're pretty similar. You know, we would apologize at the end of not drinking enough, but we are very, very similar. So, okay, so let's go back to, we definitely have different cultures. Now, how much do you know about Europe and them drinking a glass of wine a day and their heart health compared to our heart health in North America?
Well, this actually is a great question. It refers to what has become known as the French paradox. There were actually medical doctors in parts of Europe like England and Ireland who noticed as early as 100 years ago that the French seemed to be a little bit more less inclined to acquire certain diseases and just seemed to live a healthier lifestyle. And they were asking questions back then. What is it about the French and the French diet, perhaps, that is different and leading to better health? You fast forward about 70, 80 years, and people started making the link to red wine. And so this is something that's been studied quite a bit, and it's generally well known that those cultures in Europe that consume red wine on a consistent basis have better cardiovascular health than others.
It's amazing. I was in Rome a year ago this time, and there's wine everywhere. Like, it's just, I mean, I enjoy wine, and it was just fascinating to me that it's, you know how when we sit at a restaurant and they bring over the bread, they do the same, like the wine is equivalent to bringing over bread in Europe.
Sounds wonderful.
And it is wonderful. And yet, I guess we have different habits, as in we don't stop at one glass of wine, where that is just part of, you have a piece of bread and you have a glass of wine. It doesn't go on and on and on for hours. So I guess that's where we have the challenge with the wine here.
Yeah, I think so. And I think it's too bad we don't have the same challenge with bread. I know I like the bread more than I like the wine, probably.
I think I have an equal addiction, to tell you the truth. But I've given up bread in favor of wine. So, see, it's all about my heart. So we have a question in the chat room. I think it's a great question. Carol says, all I seem to get from wine these days is a headache, and not from excessive use. Will I get the same headache with the coffee?
That's a great question. The answer is no. The headache likely is the result of sulfites, which are present in the red wine. Some people also have bad reaction to tannins as well, but generally it's the sulfites that are in the wine that are the issue. And in our product, Coffee V, we have no sulfites, no tannins, no other part of the red wine except the antioxidant resveratrol. And we've never heard of anybody having a bad reaction to that.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. Now, what is it? Now, red wine can give people headaches. I get headaches from white wine. So what is it in the white wine that is different than the red wine?
There's less sulfites in red wine, but there could be some there and still some tannins. Okay.
So maybe it's the tannins. Okay, so we've established very clearly what it is about the red wine and the coffee. Now, how many cups of coffee do you need to drink? And we may have already covered this, but just one more time. How many cups of coffee do we need to drink in order to get the same amount of resveratrol? Am I pronouncing that correctly?
No, I'm going to give you the correct. So the name of our company is VERA, as in VERA Roasting, and that comes from the middle of resveratrol. So it's resveratrol.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's much better. Resveratrol. Got it. And okay, so how much coffee do we need to drink in order to have the equivalent of the resveratrol in the red wine?
So, that's a great question, and when we started the company, we thought about this very carefully, and here's what we decided. People have been drinking red wine for thousands of years, and it has sort of a natural concentration of resveratrol, which Mother Nature intended. And we decided to choose the same concentration. So when you have 1 cup of our coffee, you're getting exactly the same amount of resveratrol as you would in a typical glass of red wine. No more and no less.
That's fabulous.
Yeah.
I like it. Well thought out decision. Thank you so much for all of us. Now, I am going to ask the question that I'm sure you're expecting to hear. Can we get Coffee V in Canada?
Well, you can order it, and we're primarily a direct-to-consumer company, which means that people go online to veraroasting.com and purchase the product. And we are right now exploring international shipping. So I want to say that, yes, you can go online and you can order, and we'll ship it to you.
That's fabulous. That's fantastic. So you don't have the product in stores where someone can go pick them up. It would need to be ordered and shipped out, correct?
We are in a few stores. We're a relatively new company, and we're looking at retail opportunities all the time. We are in some stores in the New England area where we're located, but primarily we're direct-to-consumer online, and we have customers in all 50 states of the U.S., and we'd love to have customers all over Canada as well. We ship very quickly, and we roast all the time, so the coffee we ship is very fresh, delicious coffee.
Fabulous. So how do you get, okay, I'm going to save this question for after our break. I just realized we're going to go to break. So when we get back, we're going to have some more conversation with Dr. Glen. We're going to talk about coffee and heart health and all things that are possible. And vitamin D. I'm very interested in learning more about that as well. So you are listening to the Open Mic Spotlight Show here on the Inspired Choices Network, and when we get back, we're going to have more conversation. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Do you have something inspiring to say? Would you like a taste of being one of our inspired hosts? Get on the air on the Inspired Choices Network Open Mic Spotlight Show. The Open Mic Spotlight Show is your time to shine and inspire our global audience. Shows air at 9 a.m. on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday each week. Claim your spot today. Simply contact our network owner at info@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. Forget the days of 5 minutes of fame. Now you can have 55 minutes of fame.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
You are listening to the Open Mic Spotlight Show here on Inspired Choices Network. To call in and ask questions, call 815-880-8255 in the U.S., 613-800-8736 in Canada, or Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. Now back to the show.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. We have a wonderful guest with us, and we are talking all about heart health and coffee and red wine. I mean, what a great Friday morning conversation. So Dr. Glen Miller is here with us, and we're talking about Coffee V and everything that they are doing at VERA Roasting Company to bring Coffee V and heart health to the people in the U.S. for sure. We're talking about bringing it to Canada, and I wonder what the rest of the world would like as well, Dr. Glen.
Oh, I think there's a lot of interest. We get a lot of inquiries from all over the world, and Grow will no doubt start sending coffee all over.
That's fabulous. So I'm checking you out online. I'm looking at the different coffees. Which was the original coffee that you developed?
We started with 3 roasts. There was a medium Colombian roast with resveratrol, a dark French roast with resveratrol, and a Mayan decaf roast with resveratrol. So those 3 were our original 3. We soon moved into K-Cups and ultimately developed the Sunshine Blend, which you mentioned just before the break, and we've got lots of other innovations coming.
You do have lots of choices. I love it, and the price point looks very, very reasonable to me as well. Now, I met a man I remember about 2 years ago, and he was a coffee snob. He actually wanted to do a radio show just talking about coffee. I was fascinated that he would have enough content to talk about coffee for months and months on end. But what do I know about coffee other than I enjoy drinking it? So, Dr. Glen, tell me about, have you met some coffee snobs who have drank your coffee and had some things to say about your coffee?
Well, it's interesting. Coffee is an industry which is large, of course, but it's growing, and it's growing in interesting ways. There are lots of people in the last 5 or 10 years in particular who really experiment with coffee, and they love to try coffees from around the world, grown in different regions of the world, prepared in different ways. It's become a lot like the craft beer industry in some ways, in that people really enjoy a lot of different variations on the product, and those are probably the people that you're talking about as the coffee snobs. And I happen to live in an area where there are a lot of those types of people, but I don't really view them as snobs. I just view them as very curious people who are interested in trying a lot of different coffee flavors.
Well, when I say snobs, I actually enjoy speaking to snobs because they're the people who do the research, and they're the ones who can educate me. So I love that. So
there's a passion.
Yeah, they do have a passion, don't they? Yeah, it's fabulous. So before we jump back in, there's one other thing that's popping in my mind. I'm seeing a lot of people talking about different types of coffees and different health ones. And one of the ones that a lot of people are doing is they're putting MCT oil in their coffee. Have you done any research around that? Are you aware of this as well?
I'm sorry, I lost you there for a moment. You asked me about bulletproof coffee, is that correct?
Right. Well, bulletproof coffee, MCT oil, yes.
Yeah. So bulletproof coffee is very interesting. It in some ways is inspired by some of the same desires that we have with our company in terms of offering a healthy product that people can enjoy. The technology, if you will, or the chemistry that goes into coffee is different than what we've got, but it's something that we respect, and we're looking at a lot of new innovative products ourselves coming down the road.
That's fabulous. Okay, so let's talk about talk to us about the technology of your coffee.
The technology that goes into it?
Yes, please.
So what we do is we developed technology to infuse the coffee bean with resveratrol, and the coffee is brewed. And so you do get exactly the same amount of resveratrol as a typical glass of red wine upon brewing.
Okay. So, all right. So we have a question. Where was that question? So Carol did ask if you were a coffee lover or if you just see coffee as an easy way to get the antioxidants for the masters. And I see that you responded that you are a coffee lover.
I'm so sorry, Carol. I'm sorry, Christine. I'm losing you. I
don't know what. Okay, Carol, let's go for a quick break, and I'm going to try to call back in and see if we can get this working better, okay?
Do you have something inspiring to say? Do you have something inspiring to say? Would you like a taste of being one of our inspired hosts? Get on the air on the Inspired Choices Network Open Mic Spotlight Show. The Open Mic Spotlight Show is your time to shine and inspire our global audience. Shows air at 9 a.m. on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday each week. Claim your spot today. Simply contact our network owner at info@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. Forget the days of 5 minutes of fame. Now you can have 55 minutes of fame.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
You are listening to the Open Mic Spotlight Show here on Inspired Choices Network. To call in and ask questions, call 815-880-8255 in the U.S., 613-800-8736 in Canada, or Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. Now back to the show.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are talking with Dr. Glen Miller. Dr. Glen Miller is a professor of organic chemistry, and he is the founder of VERA Roasting Company, and they're makers of Coffee V. And before we went for our break, we were talking with you, Dr. Glen, and we were getting into the technology. So maybe you can just kind of go over that one more time. I think I maybe missed a little bit of what you had said. Do you hear me, Dr. Glen? Oh, we seem to be having some fun with our lines. So if you would like to learn more, can you hear me, Dr. Glen? We are not.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes. Perfect. Awesome. So can we backtrack a little bit and talk about the technology again?
Yes. So the technology is a proprietary one. We patented the technology in 2017. But what we do is we take the resveratrol and we literally infuse it into the bean, and it's only released upon brewing. So
wow.
It's formulated in such a way that you're going to get exactly the same amount of resveratrol as in a glass of red wine, but only upon brewing the coffee.
Wow, that's very cool. Now, does the type of wine that you're the type of grape you're extracting this from, does that make a difference?
Not really. We extract the resveratrol from the grapes. It is true that there's more resveratrol in some grape species than in others, but it depends on a lot of factors, including the year in which the grape was grown and the growing conditions and things of that sort. But ultimately, we extract the resveratrol from the skins of the grapes. We purify the resveratrol, and that is the ingredient we use to infuse into our coffee.
Wow, that's very cool. So, does your company actually have like wine grape fields, or are you getting the grapes from other companies?
Yeah, well, the wine industry is a very large industry, so it turns out that the grape skins are not what they're after, what they're most interested in, and so it's actually a waste product of the wine industry, so it works out really well.
Right. Yeah, I'm just remembering I saw a show on TV where these they were making not wine but bootleg alcohol, and they were actually going and getting the grape skins for their bootleg.
Were they really? Interesting.
Yes, it was very interesting. It was like they were risking going to jail making this bootleg alcohol, but they were quite successful in what they were doing. So it was quite an interesting show. So back to the question that, are you do you enjoy coffee? Or are you interested in getting the antioxidants to the masses? What really is on your heart, Dr. Glen, when you started this company? What was it for you that motivated you and inspired you to create this and to move forward? Because this is a big adventure, starting something this large.
It is. It was a big step. The thing that really pushed me to do this was the knowledge that gaining daily access to resveratrol, incorporating resveratrol into our diet on a daily basis has some profound health benefits. And there are certain cultures around the world where red wine is consumed every day that receive these health benefits. And, the health benefits are large. We really emphasize the heart-healthy part of our coffee and the heart-healthy part of resveratrol. But if you dig into the resveratrol literature, you realize it's not just cardiovascular health that is improved, but things like a slowing of aging-related cognitive decline, dementia, Alzheimer's type benefits, other benefits as well for people who are dealing with chronic inflammation and people who are even dealing with depression. There's literature suggesting resveratrol can help. So the literature goes back 30 years. It's really profound. Resveratrol is it's not a secret because lots of people know about it, but it seems that not a lot of people act on this knowledge. And so the real benefit was to just find a way to incorporate resveratrol into the diet so that adults could appreciate and feel the benefits.
Right. And so what was it for you personally? Was there someone in your life that had health issues that really was a catalyst to you choosing this?
No, I think probably the part of my life that kind of got me on this track is the fact that I'm an organic chemist. I've been studying organic chemistry for over 25 years now. And during that time, I've studied lots of interesting organic compounds with lots of interesting characteristics. And resveratrol was just one that caught my attention and held it for a long time. And I suppose the fact that I am myself also getting older, and, as we cross a certain age, we start thinking about our own mortality a little bit more and our own health. And these things probably played a part as well.
Right. Well, that's awesome. When we talk about coffee, I mean, there's a lot of coffee bashing out there. Like there is a lot of bashing of anything. The negative side effects of drinking so much coffee, are they, like, how do you deal with that? How do you speak to that piece of it? Because there's definitely benefits for what you're doing.
Yeah, it's interesting. The discussion about the health benefits of coffee go back many, many years, and depending upon who you talk to and what they've heard and when they've heard it, they might have very different stories. Here's the facts, though. In recent years, there have been a fair number of studies about coffee and whether or not it's a healthful beverage or not. And the vast majority of the literature these days, literature produced in the last 10 years, suggests that coffee is, in fact, a very healthful drink. So I tell people, look at the literature, look at the recent literature. There was a study done at the Harvard Medical School in particular, which was just published almost a year ago, a little bit less than a year ago now, which suggests that the more coffee you drink, the longer you live. And it was a remarkable study because it involved a very large number of people, tens of thousands of people, and it literally tracked longevity versus number of cups of coffee consumed per day. And there was a strong correlation, up to about 5 or 6 cups a day. The more you drank, the longer you lived. And so the literature suggests that it is, in fact, a healthful drink.
Wow, that's fabulous to know. It sounds like a very in-depth study. What is it in coffee that it does make it that adds to our health and adds to our longevity?
Well, coffee is a natural product. The coffee bean is grown on a plant, and this particular plant has a lot of healthful ingredients in it. There are some antioxidants in coffee itself that are just part of the bean, and so you enjoy those natural products. It's actually a very complex plant. There's thousands and thousands of natural organic compounds that are released upon brewing coffee, and so I guess you'd have to say it's the culmination or the compilation of all those natural organics that are in the coffee that promote a healthier lifestyle.
That's good to know. And that coupled with what you're doing definitely sounds like it's a potent contribution towards our health. I really love this information. Carol made a great comment in the chat room, which I think also adds to it. She says, I wonder if that longevity is from the actual coffee or from taking a moment to sit and appreciate it. And I think that that's also something that can add to our health, is when we're actually enjoying something. So Dr. Glen, what
I
do
agree.
what do people say about your coffee? What's some of the feedback?
Well, it's interesting. So we've been talking today about the health benefits of our coffee, and of course that was the overarching goal, to produce a coffee product that had great health benefits. But the main feedback we receive relates to the taste, and in particular, people over and over again refer to our coffee as a particularly smooth one. So they say, what is it going on there with VERA Roasting Company that you produce such a smooth tasting coffee? And the answer, as it turns out, has a lot to do with the resveratrol. The resveratrol that we use is highly purified, and it has no flavor, so it does not impact the flavor of the coffee in any way. But it does impact the body of the coffee. It gives you a different feel to the coffee in your mouth. And over again, we hear people say, this is the smoothest cup of coffee I've ever had. So we're really happy about that.
Okay, now I'm looking forward to having a cup of coffee.
Because in the end, right, if the coffee doesn't taste good, no one's going to drink it. And, you know, it might be the healthiest cup of coffee in the world, but if it doesn't taste good, it won't be consumed. So it has to be a delicious coffee. We use premium beans, and as I said, the resveratrol actually enhances the smoothness of the coffee. So it has to be that way. Otherwise, you know, no one would want to drink coffee that tastes like cough medicine.
Yeah, all health benefits will be put aside if we don't enjoy it. That is the absolute truth. We are a finicky bunch for sure. Carol asks, how long until you start to see or feel the health benefits from your coffee?
Well, that's a great question. If you drink coffee on a daily basis, you're going to have that resveratrol in your diet on a daily basis, and in the long term, there's no doubt it's going to lead to cardiovascular benefits, just as drinking red wine on a daily basis does the same. There's probably not a date where we could say, oh, if you do this for 30 days, you know, you're suddenly going to run a, you know, marathon and not break a sweat or anything like that. But it's really part of just living a healthier lifestyle. I think if you get regular blood work done and you have your cholesterol checked and things like that, you might start to notice some benefits there within a month or two. But you know, these are kind of subtle health benefits. They're not so dramatic. You're not going to see you know, a major change in the things you're able to do. You're just going to feel a lot better.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about the vitamin D, vitamin D3. What pulled you towards infusing that as well in your coffee? And it's the Sunshine Blend Coffee V, right?
Yeah, we call that one the Sunshine Blend Coffee V. That's very similar, actually. The technology that we patented to incorporate resveratrol into the coffee also includes a lot of other healthful ingredients, including vitamin D. And the idea behind vitamin D was and is that we want people, particularly those of us that live far enough north that we have long winters and maybe cold winters and we don't get outside and enjoy the sunshine as much as we should, and therefore our bodies are not producing enough vitamin D. We wanted folks to have alternative access to vitamin D. It's a very important vitamin. We need it to function properly. And as I think you mentioned earlier, there is a very large number of adults that have vitamin D deficiencies.
Oh, yes. I can't think of the doctor's name. He's a very well-known doctor that is online, puts out a lot of blogs. And he said that anyone that lives north of the equator is vitamin D deficient.
Wow.
If when his name pops in, I will actually email it to you so you have that information. But he did say that, and I read that probably at least 5 to 10 years ago. And vitamin D has always been on my mind. He said vitamin D was more important than vitamin C. He said it was the most important vitamin that we lack that is impacting our immune system.
Yeah, I think a lot of people relate vitamin D to bone health, and it's certainly important for strong, healthy bones, but it has other impacts as well, including feelings of depression. A lot of people experience
Yes.
what is commonly referred to as the winter blues, and think that it's just because they don't like winter, but actually there's more of a biochemical answer to the feeling of the winter blues, and it has to do with the lack of vitamin D. So when we lack vitamin D, it impacts us in profound ways.
In profound ways. This is a very probably bastardized way to explain what he had said, but he said basically vitamin D unlocks the doors to let out all of your other vitamins and all of your other immune system fighters to work on your behalf in your body when you're sick. So it's like a linking vitamin.
Yeah, it's really important. And you know what I think a lot of people don't realize is that they may themselves have a vitamin D deficiency. It wasn't really until in the last few years that doctors would routinely check for this during physical exams. A little bit of blood work is required. And I believe now it's become quite common, and that's why the statistics are only recently reported are only recently reporting vitamin D deficiencies at an alarming rate, because we're really getting a lot of data in the last 5 or so years. But it's almost half of all adults that have a vitamin D deficiency, which is amazing.
Yeah, it truly is. Do you know the signs of vitamin D deficiency, Dr. Glen?
I don't, well, other than the feeling of the winter blues and maybe some depression, which is associated with those times of the year when you're not exposing your skin to enough sunlight, I doubt very much that people would be able to pick up on other signs if you have, having some bone health issues. It's usually not until those are very far along that you'd notice that anything like that.
Right, we would notice.
So you're probably not going to notice anything right away, but over the long term, we know that vitamin D deficiencies can be quite harmful.
Right. Well, you've certainly put a great deal of thought and work and education into what you're creating. What does the future of your coffee company look like? What's you said early on in our conversation that you're looking at creating a lot more blends. Are there other amazing things that you're doing?
Well, we're working on quite a few things actually, and so I think the thing that really distinguishes VERA Roasting Company from other coffee companies is that we've got this health axis that we're working on. We have delicious coffee. That's important. We've talked about that. No one will drink the coffee if they don't enjoy the flavor. But we've also got this health axis. We started with our original blends, which promote cardiovascular health because of the resveratrol. All of our coffees will have resveratrol. So even as we develop new blends like the Sunshine blend, they'll continue to have the heart health benefit. But we're looking at a number of other blends which will promote other health benefits. We're actually looking quite intently right now at what may become known as a wellness blend, which would help with things like anxiety and potentially also chronic pain for those that suffer from chronic pain. We're looking at a lot of new innovative products, and I would say for those that are interested, you should just keep an eye on our website, and even better, join our mailing list, and we'll keep people updated all the time whenever we have new and innovative products. And anybody can look at our website at veraroasting.com and join our mailing list there as well.
Right. And if you're looking for the links and you're listening to this in the replay, you can definitely come over to Inspired Choices Network and look for this show, March 16th, 2018, under the Open Mic Spotlight Show archives, and you will see Dr. Glen's bio, and you'll get the link there as well. Now, you're also on other social media platforms where people can connect with you, Dr. Glen?
Yes, we're on Instagram and Facebook. On Instagram, it's CoffV Daily. That's CoffVee, CoffV Daily. On Facebook and Twitter, it's VERA Roasting.
VERA Roasting. Fabulous. Well, we're up to our last break, Dr. Glen. We're going to take a short commercial break, and when we get back, we're going to wrap up any last things that you want to share with us and any more questions we might have here in the chat room. So stay tuned, everyone. You are listening to the Open Mic Spotlight Show with myself, Christine McIver, and my wonderful guest, Dr. Glen Miller. We'll be right back.
Do you have something inspiring to say? Would you like a taste of being one of our inspired hosts? Get on the air on the Inspired Choices Network Open Mic Spotlight Show. The Open Mic Spotlight Show is your time to shine and inspire our global audience. Shows air at 9 a.m. on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday each week. Claim your spot today. Simply contact our network owner at info@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. Forget the days of 5 minutes of fame. Now you can have 55 minutes of fame.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
You are listening to the Open Mic Spotlight Show here on Inspired Choices Network. To call in and ask questions, call 815-880-8255 in the U.S., 613-800-8736 in Canada, or Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. Now back to the show.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Dr. Glen Miller is here, and we're talking about heart-healthy coffee. So, Dr. Glen, what are some of the last things that you would like to share with our listeners about the benefits of a healthier living with the right cup of coffee?
Well, I think the main thing is that, most people are interested in living a healthier lifestyle, and we're offering a delicious coffee product that couldn't be simpler, couldn't be a simpler approach towards a healthier lifestyle. All you have to do is drink the right coffee. And so I'd like to tell the listeners to give us a shot. Try our delicious coffee. See if you don't love it and if you don't enjoy the health benefits. We've got resveratrol, which promotes cardiovascular health in all our products. We've got vitamin D3 in our sunshine blends to promote healthier living during the winter months in particular. And we've got a lot of new innovative products coming. So if you check us out, VERARoasting.com, you're gonna find lots of interesting things.
You're going to find, and you're going to have a smooth cup of coffee. I think that's the piece that that really sparked my interest. It's like, what? Smooth cup of coffee? There's some people, I don't know, they can make a cup of coffee and it always tastes so amazingly delicious. And sometimes I can make a great cup of coffee and sometimes it just doesn't come out as well. And I really don't think I'm doing anything different. So I would love to try your coffee, if not just for that, to impress my guests when I'm serving coffee.
Oh, I'm sure they would love it.
So, Dr. Glen, how big of a company is your company? How many people do you have, and where is your company located?
We are located in the seacoast of New Hampshire. That is about an hour north of Boston. in New England, U.S., and we're still a relatively small company. We have about 8 or 9 employees that are doing various functions for us. We're growing. We're growing rapidly. We've got customers all over the U.S. In fact, in all 50 states of the U.S., we have customers, including Alaska and Hawaii. So they're quite far away from us, but the word has spread. And as I said, we're interested in gaining a lot of Canadian customers as well. And so bottom line is we're still a small company, but we're growing quickly, and hopefully in another year we'll, instead of having 8 or 9 employees, have 80 or 90.
80 or 90, that's fantastic. I love that you have the product patented, and that you're able to really bring, I think that really has you stand out and really brings more capacity to the table for what you're able to do. And I love that you are still a very small, intimate company and yet making huge strides. I mean, that speaks volumes for your commitment and your devotion to what you're doing.
It does, and although we're small, the folks we have on board are very passionate about our company and about our mission and what we're doing. We're all part of the same team, and we're all working hard to have a positive impact.
Wow, that is absolutely fantastic. So again, you can get in touch with their company at VERARoasting.com. So that's VERA roasting.com, and I love the simplicity of your website. You would just have the products there. It's very easy. There's a detailed description, and you don't have to kind of dig through to find the products that you are interested in. So, Dr. Glen, where are you going to be taking the company on the road? Are you going to be going out and speaking at different engagements, or are you looking to do this more online as we are today?
We do a little bit of both. We do a lot of shows and events. I've been to quite a few, and I get to meet sometimes existing customers who know a lot about us already, and sometimes people that have never heard of us. And we talk to them, and we talk about the heart health benefit of coffee from VERA Roasting. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. We will be at a couple of events in the New England area in the next few months. We'll be at a Specialty Food Association show in New York City this summer. We're out and about, and if anybody's interested in meeting us and talking to us about coffee, because we know there's a lot of passionate coffee people out there, joining our mailing list or just checking our website on a regular basis, you'll be able to see exactly what's going on.
Right. And you also have a subscription program, I understand. Can you talk about that for just a minute?
Yeah, sure. The subscription program is quite popular. So for those people that do drink coffee regularly, which is pretty much all coffee drinkers, and that want to enjoy the health benefit of our product all the time, we offer a subscription program, and you can save money by subscribing. And when you subscribe, you simply choose the coffee product that you're interested in, and you choose the timing, so we can deliver it to you every 2 weeks, every month, every 6 weeks, whatever you prefer. And it'll show up on your doorstep like clockwork.
That's awesome. Now, you also have a gift for all of our listeners today, correct?
We do. We have a gift, and I'm not sure how we're going to choose the gift recipient, but we do have a gift available.
Okay, so we have 2 bags of coffee, free Coffee V, plus a beautiful ceramic Coffee V mug. So it would, why don't we have them email you in the next, let's give them a week, and you choose a winner. Okay. How does that sound?
That sounds great. We'll do a drawing.
What's your email address? It's Glen at VERARoasting.com. So people,
correct.
If you're interested, yeah.
I'm just going to say, make sure that Glen has one N.
One N. So we just got a couple of seconds here. Thank you so much, Dr. Glen. I so appreciate what you're creating in the world and your time today. Have an amazing week, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you for listening to the Open Mic Spotlight radio show. We will be here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 a.m. Central, 7 a.m. Mountain, and 6 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, continue to create you with joy and inspiration.